She was smiling, but her hand was shaking. The plate nearly slipped from her fingers as she placed it gently on the table. No one noticed. No one cared. Except the man sitting right in front of her. Dressed like a nobody. Quiet. Watching. What she didn't know was that the man she had just served breakfast to was the undercover owner of the diner. And what he was about to uncover would expose a secret so dark, it would leave an entire restaurant in shock. Stay till the end because this story is not just heartbreaking. It's unforgettable. Jonathan Hale wasn't supposed to be there. At least not like this. Most people knew him as a successful businessman, the founder of Hale's Diners, a fast-growing chain known for family values and fair treatment. What they didn't know was that Jonathan had grown uneasy. Complaints had been piling up quietly. Anonymous emails, low morale reports, online reviews that mentioned fear, pressure, and hostile managers. Yet every official report said the same thing. Operations are normal. Jonathan didn't believe that. He had built his business from the ground up, washing dishes and flipping burgers himself when he was younger. He knew the look of exhaustion, the look of fear. So he did what no executive expected. He went undercover. No suit, no security, no announcement. Just an old jacket, a baseball cap, and a decision to see the truth for himself. On a cold, rainy Tuesday morning, Jonathan pushed open the door to Hale's Diner, location 14. The bell rang softly. No greeting came. The diner was busy but tense. Plates clattered. Coffee machines hissed. But there was no warmth. That's when Jonathan saw her. She was carrying a plate of food, eggs, toast, bacon, holding it carefully with one hand. The other hand, wrapped in a crude bandage. Dirty. Uneven. Clearly not from a hospital. Her steps were slow, careful, like every movement hurt. Jonathan frowned. No restaurant policy would ever allow an injured employee to serve food. Yet here she was. Her name tag read, Lena. She approached Jonathan's table and placed the plate down. For a moment their eyes met. Her smile was polite, but her eyes were tired. "Enjoy your meal, sir," she said softly. As she turned to leave, her hand trembled. Jonathan noticed something else. She was in pain, but she was afraid to show it. "Hey, what are you doing?" A sharp voice cut through the diner. A man stormed over. Tall, broad, angry. His name tag read, Mark, floor manager. He looked at the plate. "Why are you moving so slow?" Mark snapped. "You trying to make customers wait?" "I'm sorry," Lena said quietly. "My hand." "I don't care about your hand," Mark cut her off. "You're paid to work." "Work." Customers pretended not to hear. Lena nodded quickly and stepped back. Jonathan felt something tighten in his chest. This wasn't discipline. This was cruelty. A few minutes later, Lena returned with coffee. As she poured, Jonathan spoke gently. "That looks painful," he said, nodding at her hand. Lena froze. Her eyes flicked toward Mark. "I'm okay," she replied quickly. "It's nothing." Jonathan didn't push. But he knew one thing. People don't hide pain for no reason. Throughout the morning rush, Jonathan watched. Every time Mark passed Lena, she flinched. Every time he raised his voice, her shoulders stiffened. Once, when she dropped a fork, Mark leaned in close and whispered something. Lena's eyes filled with tears, but she wiped them away fast. Jonathan's hands curled into fists under the table. He had seen this before. Power being abused. Silence being forced. And he knew it never stopped unless someone intervened. Jonathan stood and excused himself. "I need the restroom," he said casually. Instead, he walked toward the back hallway. The door marked employees only was slightly open. Voices echoed inside. Mark's voice was sharp. "I told you not to slow down," he said. "You think customers care about your pain?" "I'm trying," Lena whispered. "My hand hurts so bad." Then came a sound. A hard slam. And a cry of pain. Jonathan pushed the door open. Mark spun around. Lena was pressed against the wall, clutching her injured hand, tears streaming down her face. Jonathan's voice was calm. "What's going on here?" Mark scoffed. "This is staff business, sir." Jonathan stepped closer. "No," he said firmly. "This is my business." Mark laughed nervously. "You don't know who you're talking to." Jonathan looked him straight in the eye. "You're right," he said. "But you're about to." Lena broke down. Words spilled out between sobs. She had no family. No support. No savings. Mark knew that. When she first started, he seemed helpful. Extra shifts. Small cash advances. Then came the control. Threats. Yelling. Isolation. 3 weeks ago, during an argument, Mark slammed her hand in the storage door. It broke. She begged to see a doctor. Mark refused. If you miss work, he told her, you're fired. Jonathan felt sick. This wasn't just a bad manager. This was abuse. Jonathan slowly removed his cap. My name is Jonathan Hale, he said. Mark's smile vanished. I own this diner. The room went silent. Lena looked up in shock. Mark stumbled backward. You're lying, he said. Jonathan pulled out his phone and made one call. Get the police here, he said. Now. Within minutes, sirens echoed outside. Employees gathered, whispering. Mark was escorted out in handcuffs. Jonathan shut the diner down for the day. Every employee was paid in full. Then Jonathan turned to Lena. You're not working another shift, he said gently. Her face crumpled. I understand, she whispered. I'll leave. Jonathan shook his head. No, he said. You're safe now. Jonathan personally drove Lena to the hospital. Doctors confirmed it. Her hand had been broken for weeks. Surgery was needed. Jonathan paid for everything. Medical bills, therapy, counseling. But he didn't stop there. He sat beside her hospital bed and said something she never expected to hear. You deserve better than survival, he told her. You deserve a future. Jonathan offered Lena a full scholarship. College, living expenses, time to heal. You don't owe me anything, he said. Just promise me one thing. She looked at him through tears. What? When you're strong again, he said. Help someone else who feels powerless. She nodded. An internal investigation followed. 5 managers were fired across different locations. New systems were installed. Anonymous reporting. Zero-tolerance abuse policies. Mental health support for staff. Jonathan went public, not to protect the brand but to protect people. 3 years later, Jonathan walked into the same diner. But it felt different. Laughter. Warmth. Life. Behind the counter stood a confident young woman. Her hand fully healed. Her smile real. Her name tag read, Lena, assistant manager. She saw him and froze. Then she smiled. You noticed me, she said softly. Jonathan nodded. I always do. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness start with simply paying attention. And sometimes, the person who changes your life forever is the one you never expected. If this story touched your heart, like, subscribe and share, because someone out there might be waiting for their story to change too.